Hey, what's going on, everyone? My name is Brandon, aka Scourge of Vinyl. Today starts my top 50 of 2017. This video will be for numbers 50 to 41. The next video will be broken up into 50 to 31, and so on. So this will be broken up into 5 separate videos just to keep them short, keep them sweet. Before I get started, I just want to say a few things about these lists. First of all, is it silly? Yeah, probably. But I like it. I think it's fun. I think it's a good way to talk about music. I think it's a good way to help people discover some of the albums that they might have missed this year, because 2017 was an amazing year for metal. This list will be all metal and all of its subgenres, so you're not going to get any pop, rap, any of that shit. Now, when it comes to ranking these, is 50 necessarily better than 49? No. I'm not in the business of saying this is better than this. This is just sort of a list based on what I listen to more, or if I think that it deserves a little more attention than it got. It's not necessarily saying, hey, this is better than this, fuck this, listen to this. Not the case at all. So this, it's pretty arbitrary, but I mean, I spent a lot of time making this list. I have pages of notes here, so it was quite an endeavor, and I'm looking forward to sharing with all of you. So, without further ado, number 50, Anil Epsy. This is Atrocities from Beyond. Now, Anil Epsy is a brutal death metal band from Portugal. This was released on Rising Nemesis Records. As far as brutal death metal goes, I thought this was outstanding. Certainly one of the best brutal death metal records to come out this year. There's only a couple brutal death metal records on this list, so to land it on my list at all shows that this is really, really quality stuff. It's heavy as all fuck. There's plenty of slams, plenty of breakdowns. The production for this kind of music, I think, is flawless. The drums are definitely triggered, but not to a point where you feel like they're lacking power. Yeah, overall, just a very solid release. If you watched my previous video, these guys also released a split this year with Cranium, so a great year for Anil Epsy. Definitely looking forward to more material from this band in the future. Number 49, Origin, Unparalleled Universe. These guys have been at it for a long time. Brutal, technical death metal. Jason Kaiser, formerly of Skinless, now their vocalist for the past few albums. On this record, released by Nuclear Blast, I think that they dialed back the technicality just a little bit. I mean, it's technical as all get out, but there's songs on here, especially Invariance Under Transformation, which is my favorite track on this album. They dialed up the heavy. I mean, this thing hits you like a fucking ton of bricks. But it's got enough technicality, it's got enough unique and gifted songwriting to make this one hell of a listen. It's a very captivating album. There's even a cover of Revolucion by Brujeria. I'm not a big Brujeria fan, but that cover is awesome. I think it's really great. So yeah, I mean, if you like Origin, you're going to like this album. If you're new to Origin, definitely check this one out and then maybe work your way back, see if that's anything that interests you. But this one definitely grabbed my attention this year. I really, really enjoyed that one. This is Vampiric Blood with Howling and Candlelight. This is a one-man band, black metal from Australia, released by Dark Adversary. There you see Lord of Shadows. Very grim, very cold. Not necessarily leaning too much on atmosphere as it does just icy cold riffing. The vocals are superb, very high pitched, very classical black metal vocals. Um, there's a couple longer tracks on here. Howling in Candlelight, Pulse of Prey. My favorite track on here is what I would say the title track, Howling in Candlelight, and then Desperate Shadows. Two awesome tracks. Uh, Keep an eye out for Vampiric Blood. There's a lot of great shit coming out of Australia. Dark Adversary Productions, which is run by Asgore of Drowning the Light. He's been putting out a lot of killer music, so keep your eyes peeled for any Dark Adversary stuff, any Drowning the Light stuff, any Vampiric Blood stuff. Definitely worth your attention. I enjoyed this release a lot this year. Here we have Nightbringer, and this is number 46. That was number 47, excuse me. Nightbringer with Terra Damnata. This released on Season of Mist. This is black metal from Colorado. Members of bands like Achilles, Bestia Arcana, all sorts of different shit. Excommunion. But Nightbringer, I love the way on this record it can sound so chaotic, so caustic, so sinister. But on certain tracks, it sounds ethereal and just downright beautiful. I mean, that's sort of yin and yang going on with this album, made it kind of an epic journey, an epic listen. The first track, As Wolves Amongst Ruins, just bam, starts off immediately in your face. My favorite track on here, Of the Key and Crossed Bones. Really outstanding stuff from Nightbringer. They don't have a bad album. Just continuing to develop their sound and push the envelope and discover new ways to write killer songs. So definitely Nightbringer, Terra Damnata. Number 46, Crurifragium with Beasts of the Temple of Satan. As you can tell, this is definitely some blasphemy, kind of Black Death, bestial war, whatever the fuck you want to call it. These guys are out of Seattle, Washington. The members of this band also play in Demon Sea. This is your just bare bones, stripped down Black Death metal with that bestial edge to it. You got songs like Stigmata, Excruciation, Flayed Angels, the title track, Beast of the Temple of Satan, The Horns of Power. Invictus Productions released this. I saw these guys on tour with Demon Sea. Their performance was great. Definitely captured that really dark, kind of meathead-ish, you know? It's just straightforward, pummeling riffs. But at the same time, it's got that quality that you look for when it comes to these type of bands, because there's 100 carbon copies of, Blasphemy, Beherit, shit like that. And Crurifragium, I think, are definitely worthy of being talked about as one of the better bands to emulate that style. And I enjoyed this release. Number 45, Ascended Dead, Apparent Manifestation. These guys are from San Diego, California. Dark Descent Records release. This is chaotic death metal at its finest. I mean, this band with this record have garnered a lot of attention, rightfully so. You should see this on plenty of year-end lists. It's really great. As far as band comparisons, I would say maybe the latest Titan Blood, the EP, Accursed Skin, because it's not black metal at all, but it definitely lines up with some of the chaotic death metal parts. Maybe another good comparison would be Triumvir Foul. The vocals are frantic, high-pitched, crazy, and the riffs match. So it's just a total onslaught of chaotic death metal. Great release from Dark Descent Records. You'll be seeing a lot of Dark Descent on this list. 44, Grav with Tomb of Agony. If you watched my previous video covering all the EPs and splits and everything of 2017, the Grav EP was on there as well. On the same day this year, Grav released 2 full lengths, an EP, and a compilation. I thought this was the best of the bunch. Tomb of Agony, it's ambient, it's blackened, it's creepy sounding, and like I said before with Grav, very note driven. The bass is very audible. It's very unique as far as black metal goes, especially Swedish black metal. Don't hear a lot of stuff that sounds like this, so I thought it was one of the more unique albums that I heard this year. Thus, it deserved a place on this list. Number 43. This is Unausprechlichen Kulten, a mouthful, with Keziah, Lilith, Medea, Chapter X, Chapter 10. This is the ultimate Lovecraftian death metal band. These guys are out of Chile. They've been doing it for well over a decade now, probably pushing 2. Just an outstanding death metal release. A lot of all of the lyrics, in fact, I think, are in their native tongue. So if that's something that turns you off, oh well. You can't really understand the lyrics anyways. They're death metal growls. But in the liner notes and everything, there are translations, so you can read the lyrics in English if you would like. And this is kind of a story, really satanic kind of shit. A lot of witchcraft. It's a very good listen if you sit down, read along with the lyrics as you're listening. I really appreciate that kind of experience. So this definitely worthy of being on my list and worthy of your attention. Number 42, Father Befouled, Desolate Gods. Another Dark Descent Records release. These guys are the incantation clone to beat all incantation clones. On this album, I think that they took that formula that they've been doing for several albums now, and I think that they're really starting to take that imitation sound and really turn it into their own. I mean, there's still the obvious incantation influence on here, but you're really starting to see Father Befouled more than incantation, because, you know, before when you put on an album, it's like, oh, this sounds exactly like incantation. Now with this album, you're definitely starting to hear a little bit more, oh, that sounds a little bit more like Father Befouled than it does incantation, which is great. It's a step forward. Awesome death metal album. Really great lead work on here. There's some great solos. Ungodly Rest. There's an instrumental track on here. So it's a very varied listen. You're not gonna get just like 10 straight tracks of straight up death metal. It's an interesting listen. I liked it a lot. Check it out. And then number 41, Converge, The Dusk in Us. It should be no secret on here that I am a huge Converge fan. This album, while I think it's great, is probably their worst record that they've ever put out. And I'm not saying that it's a bad record. It's on this list, but it does not hold up to the Jane Does, You Fail Me's, even All You Love You Will Leave Behind. It's good. Songs like A Single Tear, Broken by Light, Cannibals. I just think that there's too much of Jake Bannon's other project, Where Your Wounds, seeping into this. I mean, you hear it on songs like I Can Tell You About Pain, the title track, The Dusk in Us, Thousands of Miles Between Us. There's some really clean parts, a lot of clean vocals. Some of those songs are really drawn out, kind of drag. So this is certainly not my favorite Converge album. However, I do think that it's very good. If you like metalcore, if you like that perfect blend of hardcore and metal, Converge does it better than anyone. So definitely, check it out. If you like Converge, you've probably already heard it. If you're new to Converge, I would not start with this one, but maybe, who knows? Everyone's tastes are different. I don't really talk about the packaging because, with these lists I want to talk more about the music, but I just want to say I really hate this fucking bullshit lenticular cover or whatever you want to call it. It's too glossy, it's too rainbowy, it doesn't scream Converge to me. The cover art's stupid, but whatever, that's being nitpicky. So yeah, that was it for 50 to 41. Stay tuned for 40 to 31. It'll be happening probably a couple of days. I'm going to try and blaze through this as fast as I can. I know it's December, it's the holiday season. I leave for tour at the beginning of January, so I want to nail this stuff before I have to go out and do that. But as always, thank you for liking, watching these videos, continuing to subscribe. Stay tuned for the next video, and as always, until next time, take care.